you rode half pipe down at Louise last year. I know. Keep working on them doubles, girl. Everything's gonna be sick, bro. But I'm ready for whitefish south of the border. Nar nar pow pow. It's going off.
Jesus fucking Christ, that line was bad. The following video you're about to watch is a speech I did at my brother's wedding. But before we get to that, and this, here's a quick summary. A few years ago, my brother Jacarl married a woman named Catherine. Here's a bit of trivia. They started going on December 26, 2007, also known as Boxing Day. The US has a day that's kind of similar to Boxing Day. Black Friday! Anyway, why am I bringing this up? Well, that's because I was asked to be the best man for that wedding. Interesting fact, I almost declined the offer. Here's why. It was mainly because I had to do a speech. I didn't care for any other duties like holding the rings, signing the marriage certificate, etc. Just the speech and the speech only, and I couldn't get out of it. I was just scared of fucking up during the speech. Well, not that it would matter anyway, because I did mess up earlier that night. The bride's brother asked me to do a surprise toast when he concluded his speech. The problem was I didn't know I was supposed to do a toast. I told him I don't have it written down and I couldn't think of anything to say. Thankfully, he recovered that briefly awkward silent moment and did the toast for me. The fact that I was called up to do something and said fuck all was an embarrassment. It was pretty bad, especially when you're the best man. I choked at that moment, kind of like this goalkeeper. He's the best in exhibition games but chokes during the playoffs. But after eating a few courses and taking a trip to the restroom, my nerves calmed down and I took the stage. I did my speech, and it felt really good doing it, since I finally got through the one thing I was scared of doing in the first place. And it lasted around 15 minutes. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that long. Sorry about that. Despite the length, the guests loved it. Some were saying it was awesome and phenomenal, while others were saying it was the best speech they've ever heard. And you can judge it for yourself, since this speech is going to be shared to the public for the very first time. Although that's not quite true, since it was actually uploaded the day after the wedding. Unfortunately, it's ruined by the poor video quality courtesy of the iPhone 4 and the obnoxious laughter of the guy recording the video and not keeping the fucking phone still. Here's a fun fact. The guy who shot the video is the choking goalkeeper. Woo! I love you! And that is the end of that summary. I hope you enjoy this speech. But before we get to that, there's another video that I have to discuss. Something that's been bothering me for many, many months. And that video is about a skier. Now, normally when you watch a video of a skier, he or she will hit the slopes in the mountains, jumping off small hills, pulling off various studs, and saying stupid fucking retarded lines like this one.
What if it snowed in San Francisco?
Unfortunately, this skier hits the streets of Bangkok.
Thanks, man. You must be a snowboarder. Doesn't have pools. Let's do this.
Where do I begin with this one?
Well, you have the skier who's walking around the streets of Bangkok socializing with the locals on a very, very hot day.
Now, normally when it's a hot day, you would wear some light clothing, like a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals.
This guy, on the other hand, loses his goddamn mind and goes all out, wearing a sweater, sweatpants, gloves, ski goggles, ski boots, actual skis, a helmet, and a fucking GoPro attached to his helmet, all while doing uncomfortable and cringeworthy actions, such as telling this guy it's going to snow, talking to security, picking up two female tourists, crossing the street in his ski gear, and does some sort of lame jump trick, which, by the way, could have scratched the poor guy's pickup truck, says that the sky is clear, even though it's not, bragging that he's the best skier in the city despite the fact that he's the only skier in the city, that dumbass line you saw earlier, and telling an innocent bystander that she's sponsored. Sponsored? From who? Ski gear, energy drinks, fast food joints, Empire Today, a 510 bar, a restaurant packed with performances, detours, and after all of that shit, he gives us a lecture on how to draw attention.
Step 1, make sure people are watching. Hey!
Oh, God, it's so hard to watch.
Why was this made? Why the hell was this made? I don't have a clue, but I do know that this video is actually from a traveling company. Originally uploaded to Snapchat, although it did get uploaded to YouTube later, the whole purpose of this video was to sell ski trips and let viewers know when and where it was going to happen. Now, normally when you make something as irritating as, well, this, it would be a marketing failure. But surprisingly, it was a huge success. Bullshit! Let me tell you how it's done. Usually when you make a traveling video for advertising, you showcase the actions and activities that the traveler goes through and where it can happen. For example, you advertise a location. Which location? Any one of these, and show the activities that the travelers would be interested in, like enjoying the beaches, surfing, scuba diving, throwing frisbees, going for a hike, riding on elephants, falling off ostriches, bungee jumping, paintball, pouring booze in a bucket, pool parties, boat parties, full moon parties, land parties, sandboarding, being chased by a calf, losing your fucking sanity and crossing a busy street when you're not supposed to, and kissing a frog. Although I wouldn't recommend doing that, you could potentially die.
That is how you market a video. Now, granted, they have done this sort of thing before, so I guess they wanted to take it a different direction and try something new just for shits and giggles. And they did. And what did we get?
A fucking skier looking for a pair of goggles on a hot day.
Are those like next season's goggles? You got the electrics there?
Obviously, this shop doesn't have any ski goggles. The only thing I see are sunglasses, t-shirts, hats, and a bunch of other stuff. But you don't even pay attention to the cool-looking skull to your left?
Look, if you're going to make a funny video for marketing purposes, make it funny.
Don't just make something in a short time span thinking it's going to be the best video ever. Although in this case it was.
And you know what?
Other companies from all sorts of industries will probably take this stupid route, and we're going to be seeing more videos like this one and become successful too, which is bad. In fact, there was another video I saw a few months ago that was kinda similar, and it's from a clothing company.
That video is the Garden of Denim. I won't go into detail with this one, but if you don't believe me, click the link in the description if you want to watch this gardener show off his ass twice.
Just make sure your ad is good, because if you don't take the time and effort to creating something hilarious, you're going to end up with a video that's just as bad as that.
How do you feel about that move?